Welcome to my YouTube channel, and my name is Mohammed Iqbal. Most people are taught that all debt is bad, but the wealthy see debt very differently. They separate debt into two categories: bad debt and good debt. Bad debt drains your wealth. Think about credit card balances, expensive car loans, or financing items that lose value over time. Good debt, on the other hand, is used to buy assets that generate income or increase in value. A mortgage on a rental property is one of the best examples. In this video, you'll discover why many wealthy investors don't fear mortgages. They use them strategically to build wealth while keeping their own cash working elsewhere. The secret behind many successful real estate investors is financial leverage. Leverage simply means using borrowed money to control a much larger investment than you could purchase with cash alone. Imagine buying a $1 million property with only a 20% down payment. Instead of tying up your entire savings, you control a valuable asset while preserving most of your capital for other opportunities. Used responsibly, leverage allows your money to work harder rather than simply working longer. One major difference between wealthy investors and average buyers is how they think about cash. Many people believe paying cash is always the smartest financial move. The wealthy ask a different question: what else could my money earn if I didn't lock it into this property? Instead of viewing debt as a burden, they evaluate whether borrowing at a relatively low interest rate allows them to invest their remaining cash into assets that produce even higher returns. For them, money should always stay productive. Let's talk about opportunity cost. Suppose you have $1 million. If you spend every dollar buying a home outright, your cash is gone. It may appreciate over time, but it isn't generating additional income elsewhere. Now imagine using only $200,000 as a down payment and investing the remaining $800,000 into diversified investments or businesses. If those investments outperform the mortgage interest rate, your overall wealth can grow much faster. This is one reason many wealthy people choose financing instead of paying cash. Here's where leverage becomes powerful. Imagine purchasing a $500,000 property. If it increases by 5%, that's a $25,000 gain. If you bought it entirely with cash, that's a 5% return. But if you invested only $100,000 as a down payment, that same $25,000 gain represents a 25% return on your invested cash. This doesn't eliminate risk, but it demonstrates why leverage can significantly amplify returns when markets perform well. The goal isn't simply borrowing money. The goal is borrowing at a lower cost than the return your investments generate. For example, if your mortgage costs 4% annually while your investments earn 8 or 10% over the long term, the difference works in your favor. This strategy is often called positive leverage. Of course, investment returns are never guaranteed, but this spread between borrowing costs and investment returns is exactly what many experienced investors aim to create. Inflation changes the value of money over time. When you borrow using a fixed-rate mortgage, your monthly payment stays relatively stable. But as inflation increases wages, rents, and property values, you're repaying that loan with dollars that gradually become less valuable. Meanwhile, your property may appreciate while rental income also rises. Inflation, when managed carefully, can actually benefit long-term borrowers. Another reason investors use mortgages is tax efficiency. In many countries, mortgage interest on investment properties may be tax-deductible, reducing taxable income. Tax laws vary depending on where you live, and personal residences often have different rules. That's why successful investors work closely with accountants and tax professional to legally maximize available deductions. Taxes don't create wealth by themselves, but reducing unnecessary taxes can improve long-term returns. As property values increase, investors often unlock part of that equity through a cash-out refinance. Instead of selling the property, they refinance their mortgage and receive cash that can be invested elsewhere. This allows them to continue owning the appreciating asset while accessing capital for additional investments. When managed responsibly, it's a way to recycle equity into future opportunities. Cash provides flexibility. Unexpected investment opportunities appear all the time. If every dollar is tied up inside your home, it can be difficult to act quickly. Maintaining liquidity allows investors to respond to market opportunities, emergencies, or new business ventures without needing to sell valuable assets. For many wealthy individuals, liquidity is just as important as owning assets. Leverage is powerful, but it also increases risk. Borrowing too much leaves very little margin for error. If property values decline or income falls, highly leveraged investors may struggle to make mortgage payments. That's why successful investors don't simply borrow the maximum amount available. They borrow responsibly, maintain financial reserves, and ensure their investments can generate enough income to support the debt. Another major risk is cash flow. If rental income drops or interest rates increase on variable rate loans, mortgage payments can become difficult to manage. Professional investors prepare for these situations by maintaining emergency reserves, stress testing their investments, and avoiding excessive monthly obligations. Good investing isn't about taking maximum risk. It's about managing risk intelligently. Wealthy investors also focus heavily on protecting their assets. Instead of putting everything into one property, they diversify across different investments, maintain insurance coverage, and keep cash reserves. Diversification reduces the impact of any single investment performing poorly. Building wealth is important. Protecting it is equally important. The mortgage strategy isn't about buying bigger homes or taking unnecessary risks. It's about building a balanced financial system. Wealthy investors combine real estate, stocks, businesses, and cash reserves into one diversified portfolio. Mortgages become one financial tool among many. The objective is simple. Use debt strategically, keep money productive, manage risk carefully, and allow time and compounding to do the heavy lifting. Let's recap. The wealthy don't automatically avoid mortgages. They use them strategically to preserve cash, increase investment opportunities, benefit from leverage, improve liquidity, and potentially gain tax advantages. But these strategies require careful planning, discipline, and risk management. A mortgage is neither good nor bad on its own. Its value depends entirely on how it's used. If you found this presentation helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who wants to make smarter financial decisions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.